Hello YouTube, so today I'm going to continue Ospf series with adding external networks. So I'm going to add 5 more routers. Okay, I'm going to add 5 more routers and I'm going to tell you exactly what I want to do with those routers. Okay, so I'm going to add 5 of them. Okay, so we're gonna have one router here, another router here, another router here, another router here. Actually, it's gonna be 7, 8, 9. Okay, 7, 8, 9. Okay, just want to make them in order. And then I'm gonna have one router here. Really doesn't make any difference how we call them, but so I'm gonna call this one router. This is router 5, so this one's gonna be router 6. So I went ahead and added 5 more routers. So I have here the design of how I want it to look like. So the router 8, which is attached to router 4, is going to be in this segment. We're going to run ERGRP. Okay, and remember we all along we've been running Ospf in area 0. Now we added 2 more areas for also running Ospf, which is area 1. Okay, between R1, R3, R7, and R9. Okay, also area 2 between R5 and R6. Okay, so Ospf also has what we call the area border routers. Okay, which means they are routers that actually stand between areas. Okay, so this area border router R5 stands between area 0 and area 2. Area border router R3 stands between area 1 and area 0. Okay, but this one, this area is not an Ospf area, so this one is going to be called an area autonomous system area boundary router. Okay, so this is an ASBR, autonomous system boundary router, which stands between an Ospf area and a non-Ospf area. Okay, in the same way, you're going to have router 9, which is actually running Ospf and RIP at the same time, but it has its role. Its role is ASBN. Okay, autonomous system boundary router running that's bordering Ospf area and the RIP area. Okay, so those routers are all part of at the moment. Okay, are even part of router 3, 4, and 5, but I've not made any change in configuration. So right now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the interface configuration as you see here. I'm just making sure that the loopback interfaces are configured properly. This loopback interface must be like, if it's 5, it's going to be 5.5.5.5, and if it's 4, it's going to be 4.4.4 like you've seen before. Okay, so in the same way, I'm going to do the same ones, the same thing for the other routers. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to power on. I'm going to start with this one, router 3, power on router 3, and then router 4. And I'm just going to power on the other ones, and I'll be back. So before doing any configuration, I want to show you something here concerning the IP addressing, so that it's much clearer to everyone. So basically, we have these additional areas. Okay, area 1, area 2, and RIP area, then ERGRP area. And if we take the example of router 3, okay, we know that the loopback interface 3.3.3.3 is actually injected in area 0. So if we want to advertise a network from router 3 into into area 1, we have to create another loopback. So I created this loopback here. loopback 103.0.4.3. okay, .0. Okay, so that's the loopback interface I created on this router, and it's going to be injected in Ospf area 1. In the same way, I created a new loopback on router 4 that's going to be injected in EIGRP. So it's 104.0.4.4 is the interface of that loopback, and it's going to be on area into EIGRP 50, AS50. And then also I created a new loopback on router 5, 105.0.4.5 is the interface of that loopback injected into area 2. Okay, so just so that we know what it's all about, and then I'm going to go straight away to the configuration. I'm just going to put this one by the side. I'm going to start with router 3. Okay, so in router 3 I have to configure the loopback, the new loopback, the interface. Okay, the interface is 192.168.37.3 here. So I'm just going to pull the router 3. Alright, so I have router 3 right here. So router 3, I'm going to go terminal interface loop. We have do show IP interface brief. IP interface brief. Okay, so we have loopback 1, which is already in Ospf area 0, and we're going to create a new loopback 1, which is going to be loopback 0 is area 0, so loopback 1 is going to be in area 1. Okay, so also we have to enable this interface gig 02. Okay, so it's going to be interface loopback 1. Okay, IP address is going to be 103.0.4.3 0. Okay, and also interface gig 02. Okay, no short. IP address is going to be 192.168. It's going to be 37.3 0. Okay, all right, so I'm just gonna enable interfaces the same. I'm going to enable interfaces on our router 5, which means the loopback interface and this other additional interface. I'm going to do the same thing on router 4, the new loopback and this interface. After doing that, I'm now going to do the other routers. Okay, the additional routers that we added. Okay, interface only. I'm not going to enable routing at the moment, just the interface configuration. And also for each router, for each of these other routers, additionally, the loopback 0 is always going to be 7.7.7 here, 9.9. So anyways, we're going to see that along the way. All right, I'm going to pause the video and be back when all the interfaces are all configured. So IP addresses have been enabled on the R3, R4, and R5. If we go check here, R3, go IP interface brief. Okay, you can see we have the additional loopback 1, and also the gig 02, new one. Okay, the same way we enabled on R6 as well. 4, go IP interface brief. Okay, additional loopback and the interface that's facing that's on the EIGRP domain. Okay, so the same way I did for this one. So now what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to enable interfaces for R8, R6, R7, R9, and R10 on the interfaces, okay, and their loopback. So So when I do that, I'm going to come back and then we'll just do a little bit of verification, just be sure that the interface have been fully enabled. So I'll be back. Alright, so IP addresses have been configured on all of the other routers, and it's time to double check at least the interface, the really connected interfaces between the routers, that those ones are at least pingable, because the routing is not yet been enabled. So if I go into R3, for example, I should be able to ping R7, okay, because this interface has been configured. The loopback interface also we should be able to double check that one. Let's go to R3. I'm gonna do one route at a time. So go to R3. If I do show IP interface brief. Okay, so we see our loopback one. We just added that one. We see this interface that goes to router 7. So let me try to ping router 7. Ping 92.168.37.1. Okay, router 7. Okay, so what that means is that if we go in there, before we even go there, we just show run interface part 1. So I said before, the interface, the loopback interface that participate in Ospf, make sure that they are all point-to-point. So all loopback interfaces that will participate in Ospf, I make sure that they are all point-to-point networks. So that goes for this new loopback here and loopback that is set up here. We're going to check that one. So let's go to R7 and check that the connectivity is there to at least to R9. It's directly connected. So I'll go to R7 and we do show IP with brief. Okay, so we see we just pinged this interface a while ago from R3, so we don't need to verify that one anymore. And so there's something missing here. The interface that goes to the interface gig 00 that's going to R9. Okay, let's do that one right now. We go terminal interface gig 00. Okay, not short. IP address is going to be 192.168.79.17. Okay. 0, and then we try to ping it. We're going to try to ping the 9, 192.168.79.9. Okay, got the 9. Okay, if it's pinging, then we can save the configuration. Then in the same way, let's now let's go to router 9. Let's go to router 9 and see, since these two routers are already reachable, let's go to router 9 and see if it's reachable to router 10. Okay, so go to router 9. Let me show IP interface brief. So router 9, we see 7, the gig 00 goes back to this one. We all just pinged this one a while ago, so we don't need to check that one anymore. We can check the interface that goes from router 9 to router 10. Just do a ping. Let's do a ping to 192.168.90.10. Okay, the router 10 there. Let's ping it. So the thing is working, so we don't need to check another thing. The loopback interfaces are all there. And also this loopback interface, we have to make sure this is going to be in Ospf area 0, and this other loopback interface is going to be a RIP interface. We don't care. We don't care about we're going to inject it into RIP. So, but for this one, we have to specify that it's a point-to-point. Okay, so do show run interface loopback 0. Okay, so it's a point-to-point network. Okay, that's what we want to know. Now let's double check for router 9, router 10, just to be sure that all the interfaces are configured properly. So router 10, show IP interface brief. Okay, so the interfaces are all there, the loopback and the interface that faces router 9. That one is good. Now let's check for router. Let's check router 8. Okay, that's one's attached to router 4. But before then, let's check on router 4 and see exactly if you can ping router 8. Okay, so if I go into router 4, I did say show IP interface brief. Router 4. Okay, so on router 4, I can see that the interface has been configured. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so gig 002, gig 02 is to be 48 going to 4. So let's try to ping the .8. Okay, on gig 02, if .8 works on this interface, it means that all our settings should be good. So let me do ping .8. Okay, that's on router 8. Okay, that one's ping, which means our connectivity is good. Okay, and what else can we check here? Loopback 1 is going to be an ERGRP, so we don't need to do network point-to-point. Okay, it's going to be injecting to book, but this one, loopback 0, should be point-to-point. Okay, because we injected it into Ospf area 0. Show on interface loopback. We already did that. I just wanted to double check. Okay, so that's good. Now we're going to do the same thing for this other segment for area 2. That's on area on router 5. Let's make sure that this our interfaces are properly configured. Router 5. So IP interface brief 5. So our interface, the interface that leads to from R5 to R6 is the 5.6. Okay, 5.6 gig 02. Let's try the ping router 6. I'm gonna ping router 6. Okay, so router 6 is pingable. Now the only thing we need to verify, since this area is going to run Ospf, let's make sure that this loopback interface is point-to-point. Loopback 1, loopback 0 is already point-to-point, but let's make sure that the loopback 1 is also point-to-point. Okay, I'm going to say show run interface loopback 1. Okay, it's point-to-point. That's what we want. So now let's go to router 6. Do router 6 and just double check the interface. So IP interface brief. Okay, so we have we just ping this interface. We don't need to verify it anymore. We have connectivity between R6 and R5. That's what we want. But this interface has to be point to point. Okay, so just double check that. So run interface +0. Okay, it's point to point. So basically, our network is set for configuring the dynamic routing. Okay, so everything is set up, but I cannot, like on router 8, I cannot see routes. I should not be able to see routes coming from here. Okay, I can only see the direct connected routes. Okay, I cannot even see the loopback interface routes from router 4. Let's go to router 8 and double check that. Go to router 8 and say show a route. Okay, we didn't configure, so I don't expect anything. So these are all directly connected. Okay, so we don't see anything else because we haven't enabled dynamic routing. The same way here, we shouldn't be able to see anything this way. Okay, we should not, but who knows? Let me just maybe just in case I enable something by default. 9 show IP interface brief. Okay, oh sorry, what am I doing? Show IP route. Yeah. didn't see any Ospf route, okay, because nothing is configured. So I don't want to make this video longer than this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here, and then our next video is to add dynamic routing into our extended networks. Okay, so we're going to add Ospf network here. We're going to add a RIP, we're going to add the area 2, we're going to add the area ERGRP 50. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for the next video. And for this video, I'm going to stop here. Thanks so much for watching. Peace, and talk to you next time.